Hello there. Today in this video we would like to discuss about uh, property decorator as well as setters and getters. How do we use them? Why do we use them? So in order to explain that, we'll just create one sample scenario and write a code on top of that particular sample scenario. So for now, I'll create a class called as an order. In that order, we'll have product name and price and the quantity in that particular class. But while assigning or else while setting an attributes with a value, we have to do some controls over it. Meaning, for example, you have a quantity, you need to have strict controls, or else you have to make the user to provide only a positive numbers. That is what your constraints on your attributes of your class. So for that kind of thing, what we could do is simply we could use setters and getters in a Python 3. Let's jump in. How do we write them? So this is a Python file I created, and I'm creating class called as an order, as we discussed. Order. In this class, we will instantiate it, and then what we do is product, which product, and price of it, and what is the quantity that they want. Now self dot right again self dot now from the arguments I have passed them to instantiation variable, instance variable. Yep. Instance variable. Right now what we have to do is, now I want to make a condition on top of a quantity that I don't want any negative values to be processed on it. So what I'll do is, at the first time I'll make that class instance variable as a property with a property decorator with the very same name, quantity. I want to return class instance variable with that name whenever anybody calls that. So this is what it is. And now I have to make quantity dot setup. This decorator will force me to use whenever you pass this variable from outside to this object, and this will get into this line of code and checks all the parameters, and then it will get assigned to the class instance variable. Let us see how it is. Self comma the value that we have passed in, and we need to see if value is less than or equal to 0. Well, sorry, less than or equal to 0, then we have to raise an error. That's what we discussed. Raise value error saying cannot order for negative value. This is an error that we want to throw. Else what we have to do is self dot underscore quantity is equal to our value. Now we have assigned a value if it is a positive value. So do you want to see and execute how it works? So let's write just a simple execution code. Yes. Order. And I have passed the product name is then computer. And the price of a computer could be $400, and the quantity of it would be like, what I'll do is I'll give a quantity as a 1. Let's execute this, and let's get a quantity. Okay, so what is the quantity that we have passed in? After this, what we'll do is we'll separate this conditions with other ones. Now what I'll do is, for the very same instance of the quantity, I will assign a negative value. Let us see what kind of error it throws. Alright. Awesome. So what we have passed as a quantity as 1, which is a positive value, so it have created a class successfully because all the parameters for that particular arguments that we have passed on as a setters is fantastic. So means meeting our requirements. And when I pass negative value, which is -1, the order dot quantity is equal to -1, which I passed on there, that caused an error saying cannot order for a negative value. This is a value error. This is what we desired as a behavior. But using the setters and getters, so on given APIs, we could break the APIs and its behavior, because we never know what kind of behavior they have used on the backend. They could have used their own setters. They could have used their own decorators on top of those classes. So better not to use these things on the APIs which has already been designed, until unless you well know about how the source code has been written. So that's a small advice. And thank you very much for this video, and we'll see you soon.